Alright, something a little different here today. What I got here is a trim piece, a fiberglass trim piece off of a fiberglass cap that goes on a pickup truck. And it belongs to our buddy little dirt bike. And what the problem is, I don't know if I mentioned this is made of fiberglass. And that tells me that this cap, I've never seen the cap, I've seen pictures of it, but that tells me it's a high quality cap, because they could have made this out of plastic and it would have worked. But here's our problem. Alright, see this end here? This is good that we got one end. Then we got reference points here, and even this piece of rubber here, that gives us a reference that comes right to the edge of this fiberglass piece. So remember that, these two reference right here, this piece here and that piece of rubber. Remember that, because let's flip this around and show you what our problem is. Our problem is this piece was broke off and snapped off. This is probably a used cap that he bought. He didn't do this, but here's the problem. This about 3.5 inches of this is all missing. So what I'm going to do is try to fabricate this end and make it right. So I'm going to have to clean this up, get rid of all this dirt and everything, and then I don't know how well you guys can see it, but the gel coat is cracked all the way back to here. So I'm going to have to grind all that down and grind the back down. And we don't have much room here, because this whole piece is, let me get it on this end again. This whole piece is only about a 1/16. I give it an eighth on the top and 1/16 towards the bottom, so we don't have much room. So here's our plan. Yeah, we're going to refabricate that, because we got fiberglass. They call this fiberglass tape, this roll. Fiberglass tape and mat. Fiberglass mat. So we're going to try to reconstruct the end of that for him. And I just happen to have the cloth, and I had a cord of this on a shelf. Funny thing is I bought this to fix something for his dad's motorcycle or something. So we're going to keep it in the family there. Alright, so I have the stuff to fix it. And like I said, I'm going to take this outside now and clean it, and then grind down the top piece here and the bottom so it'll adhere to it. And here's the plan. Like I said, it's only an 1/8 thick. So I have a piece of 22 gauge sheet metal here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of make a shape here so that it'll hold the fiberglass for me. Alright, so let's do that. We're going to try and make this, going to try and do this whole thing in about a half-hour video instead of dragging it out. So I'm going to do all that stuff, and then I'll show it to you when we get back. Alright, got all the gel coat ground down to the fiberglass and cleaned up on both sides here, so we got something for the new resin to adhere to. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I've got some cardboard cereal box here, and I'm going to try and make some templates off of this side here, and then transfer them to that 22 gauge sheet metal I got. So, alright, let's do it. Alright, I got this edge all cut in shape with the metal, and I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to super glue this edge together just to hold it in place, and then I'll rivet this piece in after we put some resin down in fiberglass, and then we'll drill the rivets out later. But for right now, instead of welding and stuff like that, because that's thin stuff and it's, you know, I'm going to, like I say, super glue that, which is a pretty interesting process. You know, it's just not super glue. It's has a binder in it. So let me clean this up. This is all galvanized. I got to grind all that stuff off and everything, and then we'll put you back on a tripod and show you how we super glue that. All right, got you up on the tripod there. All right, what we're gonna do is I got my piece here. This is just a backup piece, and what I'm gonna do is weld them together with baking soda, regular baking soda from this one's from Walmart. But anyway, what you do with this stuff, some people may notice, some people may not. I'm gonna put this in the trough here. I'm gonna try not to get in your way. Okay. Clean this up a little bit. I think I got way too much in here, so I'm gonna turn you off. I'm gonna clean this up and just put a little bit in that trough. Don't go away. All right, yeah, that's a little better there. I had a little too much there, but hey, no worries. All right, we're gonna use this here. You see that? Bob Smith, super thin. You know, I got the gel here, but you don't want to use that. This will saturate all that, and it'll be like concrete. All right. All right, I don't know how well you guys can see this. I have wax paper under here to keep it from sticking, but you can see it already starting. It's starting to smoke up. Well, I got some super glue on my clamp there. All right, that's enough of that before I get myself in trouble. All right, let's see what happens with that. All right, yeah, that came out well, and it fits in there perfect, and you know, it's sturdy. It's not going to break or nothing like that, and we're going to fiberglass over it, so everything's going to be fine. The shape is perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it where it belongs, and the way I'm going to find out where it belongs is this piece of rubber came right to the edge, so that'll be right there. And I'm going to drill 4 holes, 2 here and 2 up here. That way when I slop on the fiberglass resin, I can pop rivet this in place, and it'll hold it there till it sets up, and then I'll put the fiberglass cloth down. So that's what we're going to do right now. I may rough this up a little bit, but that's where we're at now. Alright. Alright, I clamped that in place where I wanted it, and I drilled 5 holes here for a rivet. I'm going to put them in from behind, so when they squish down, they'll be they'll squish on the metal. This is just to hold it in place, so when I put the fiberglass tape on there, you know it's where it belongs. So let me take this off. We'll mix some up, and we'll rivet that in place. All right, there's some fiberglass resin in here. Should be clear, but it's purple because it's old, but it's still good. It still works. All right, we got about 8 minutes to work with this, and it's just about half of that cup, which is way too much, but that's just the way it came out. So for that much, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say about 10 drops. Alright, you want to mix this stuff good too. Get all the stuff off the walls. Get a rag over here so I can put my little stick on here. Make sure it's mixed good. Alright, I'm going to say that's good enough. The clock is ticking. I'm not going to put any fiberglass tape down. This is just to hold that piece in place. Okay, I'm almost going to put on this. I'm trying to stay in frame, but if I go out, it's because I'm busy. Put a little extra down here because there might have been a little gully in there. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, we got one in. Maybe I should have waited until I got everything in place. Let me get this out of the way so I don't knock it on the floor. Alright, let me sit down and get comfortable here. There we go. This is where I could have used an extra hand. We're going to grind them heads off, or maybe drill them out after everything sets up here, so don't worry about that. Alright, one more. Hold this one down a little bit. All right. And we just got to let that, it should take, like I say, maybe 8 to 10 minutes to harden up. All right. We're happy with that. All right. I finished doing the base and frame of this thing, and I asked my buddy, little Bill, little dirt bike, to come over here so we could put it on, shape it, see if it fits. And don't you know, it fits. It fits like a glove. It went on like it had eyes. So now I know I can finish completing the fiberglass work and everything. Go lift it up, buddy. Yeah. So this ain't going to interfere with anything. So I had to know everything was going to fit. And good thing he brought it, because there was some like little titties on the end here. And you know, they were just drips. And I had to cut them down so it goes in real nice. So we can continue on. Alright. Alright, let me show you. Here he is. Look how happy he is.
I'm thrilled.
Same with me. I'm happy as a clam, considering we didn't have the piece and we didn't know if it was going to fit. I don't have to do anything to it but the fiberglass and bodywork. Alright, we'll see you guys on the next step. Alright, I'm ready to fiberglass. I'm going to do one side at a time. And this is the bottom side. And instead of using the mat, you know, you could cut the whole mat and put a whole piece on there. I chose to go with the tape. You know, it's not tape, it's not sticky or nothing like that. They just call it that, fiberglass tape. And I'm telling you what I'm doing now, because once I start doing it, I only got 8 minutes to work and don't have time to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one piece on here like that. Then another one. This top piece here is a little angled. So I'm going to put 2 layers on this bottom half, but I can only put 1 layer on this because this can't get too thick because that goes into a groove. So I'm going to put them like that and then come back and overlap this one. And then put this one here. So I'm going to have 2 layers on the bottom, which is going to be plenty. And then this top piece, I'm just going to put 1 layer like that. And it should all conform to that shape. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, let's do it. Enough jibber jabbing, right? Alright, let me get my seat here. I'm ready to go. We got to mix this up here. Alright, I'm going to try and stay in frame, but it's tough, you know, because I'm looking at you, looking at the camera, looking at everything else. I'm going to put a few more drops in here. I did yesterday because it's about the same. Half a cup, and I'm going to put 20. The other stuff hardened up good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. All right, that was 20 drops. And like I say, the other stuff hardened up good, so I had no problem with it. But put a little more in here. You gotta mix your stuff up good or it ain't gonna work. Make sure you get it off the walls. And off the stick. Make sure you get it off the stick. Alright, enough of that. I didn't realize the camera was on my balls there, sorry. Just slop this whole area up. Could use a thicker brush, bigger brush, but I'm cheap. You got a newspaper on the floor there, I can hear it dripping. Okay. Then we got it all covered. You set this aside here. I'm gonna stand up. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. See how it's soaking in there? Don't try to pull these, because you start pulling these, this thing will unravel all over until there's nothing. Okay, it's all soaking nice. Okay. Like I said, this back part I can make as thick as I want, but the top part there, I only got an 1/8 inch to work with. That's why I can't put too much on there. All right. Yeah, it's a lot easier to work with than if I had cut a piece of mat. It'll be just as strong. I don't know what's my imagination, but I think this stuff might be getting thicker. All right. alright. It's alright. Nothing fell out. It's alright. Relax. I don't have to do this corner here because there's nothing behind it. I'm going to have to cut that off anyway and trim it. Okay, there you go. Alright. I don't know if I showed you yesterday's cup, the cup I used yesterday. Yeah. Where you guys at? Where it is here. That way, you know, you keep the cup, make sure, you know, you see it, that are all hardened up right. And you can't reuse the brush, so you might as well just leave it in there. So there you go. Nice and hard. Alright, I'm going to let this harden up. It shouldn't take too long. And then I'm actually going to let it harden up overnight, and then we'll do the other side. Alright, let me take my glove off so I can turn you guys off. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, yeah, I was gonna wait overnight for this, but it's a couple hours later, and this is hard as a rock, dry and everything. So I'm going to continue on. Alright, it's funny. One layer of cloth, which is right here, I put one layer on here, and there's a hole here, and that's as strong as can be. So what I'm going to do now is cut some cloth and lay it in here and everything, and then do the top there. Alright, I cut the fiberglass for this, and what I'm going to do is fit that in. That fits in there real nice. And then one of these on this side, that's probably going to fall off right there. And then another one over here, you know, and it's all going in between this gap here. It's filling that gap. And then another one like that, and then I'm going to come back and there we go. I'm going to come back and we're going to go all the way back here with it. Oh, almost lost it. Like this. Alright, so we're going to come all the way back like that. This ain't going to be strong as it can be. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to film that because this is getting a little long. And it's already past a half hour, I think. So that's what we're going to do. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but these holes here that were holding it in, some of them were busted out, so I cleaned up around the area, and I'm going to fill all these holes in, and he can drill new holes, and it'll grab right now. When you put it in with these sheet metal screws, the thing is loose and floppy, so by doing that, it should be nice and sturdy for him. So alright, let me do that, and we'll turn his back on. Alright, we're done here. We're going to let it set up now. It's I think we got 3 or 4 layers on this side here, and then going all the way back I think we got 2 layers, but it looks sloppy, but that's okay. We've got to trim everything up and grind some stuff smooth, but it already started hardening up on me. Here's the thing I was using, and it's hardening up fast. So I meant to tell you guys, if you use these Dixie cups, make sure you get the ones that don't have wax in them. These are just cardboard, no wax, and they're good for mixing cups. All right, if I remember, I'll put a link in the description for these, you know, the fiberglass and the tape and whatever I can think of. So, all right, next time we see you, we're going to start doing body work on that. All right, it's another day here, and I just came from outside because I trimmed this up. I trimmed up the edge here, trimmed up here and stuff like that. Now what I have to do is I'm going to scuff this up a little bit with a little roll lock, and that'll take down some of the ridges like right there and clean up right here. But came out real good. So like I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rough this up a little bit so the body putty sticks to it a little better. You know, you can put it right over this and it'd be fine, but it don't hurt to sand it a little bit. Alright, I'll turn these back on when I come back in. Alright, we got that ground down and ready for putty. And we're not going to do nothing for the backside because even the factory didn't do anything here other than paint over it, so you know, you're never going to see it. But it did get rid of some of the fuzz and stuff. Alright, this is all ready for putty. It's, you know, it blended in here nice. I'm happy with that. And over here you got a slight step, but not much, you know. This putty ain't going to be more than an 1/8 inch thick. So, even with the fiberglass, you know, you see the edge here? We got our 1/8 inch, so plenty strong. Alright, I'll set you up on a tripod and then we'll throw some putty on this. Alright, I got a little bit of putty on the plate here, and it shouldn't take too much. It's a little stiff because it's cold, you know. By cold it's about 60 degrees, which is cold for putty. Not for me. Okay, looks good enough, right? Alright. Like I say, it shouldn't take much at all. You know, it's always been a question if you can put putty over this paint and stuff. And the answer is yes, because it's urethane. But I wouldn't do that over a regular enamel paint job. Had to move this. I don't know if you're in view. Here you go. I think you're still there. You see where the low spots are. Here's where it went down a little bit, so. There's a little lip right here I gotta do. A piece of tape there, because I don't want to hit that, because I already finished that part of it. Alright, that looks good. Got something to work with. Alright, let that harden up and sand it down. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes and it's pretty hard. I knocked off some, well it was a little soft, I knocked off some of the titties there. It's less sanding, so alright, let's see how it looks. This will show us where all our low spots are. Tough working on a piece when it's not on a car, you know, because it moves around. Keep hitting the edge of the bench here with my thing. This ain't like metal, you know, like when you hit a high spot, with metal you gotta stop, but with fiberglass you can keep going down. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, you can see, I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can wipe that off for you. See, like right here, we have a couple of low spots because that's where it matte. So we gotta put them in. They're real thin. Okay, so the top is done, except for the two little spots. Now I just gotta do the side here. And then round it off. Alright, so I'm going to shut that off because like I say, this video is getting a little long. So I'll do this side and we'll turn it back on. Alright, got all that putty sanded down, and we do have a couple very, very minor low spots. You know, when you put this stuff on, you know, here's what came off. You sand most of it off, so, you know, people think, you know, you put putty on it, you know, it's like 2 inches thick, but it's not. Alright, I don't know if you can see these, but got a two tiny little spots there, tiny little spot here, and then the rest of it, the top is okay. I got a tiny little spot here. So you get tiny little spots, and let me turn you this way. You can probably see it better than I can now. But let me see. Tiny little minor imperfections here. That's it. This part here appears to, well, I got a little spot right here, and then a spot right here. And other than them little spots, it's perfectly smooth. So let me fill them spots in, and then we'll put glazing putty on it. Alright. Alright, we got it all sanded down and smooth and everything. I hit it with real lightly with 120. And it took a lot of scratches out, but right now I'm just going to put this icing on, this glazing putty, and put that on there, and then we'll sand that down, and it'll be perfectly smooth. You really don't need much of this stuff, but then you want to mix enough that you don't have to remix it. I only got about 3 minutes to work with this stuff. That's why I'm mixing it like this. I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring it over here. You know, when they say 3 minutes, they mean it. Alright, let's put it on. The clock is ticking. I'm gonna start back here because I got scratches on here. Yes, this goes on real thin. I'm trying not to get in your way, but sometimes that don't work. Okay, we'll do a little crevasse here. Here we go. All right, so we'll let that set up, and then we'll sand it with 120 or 220, and it'll be good to go. All right. All right. We got the glazing putty all sanded down and it's smooth as glass now. And I sanded this all the way down to here. And I'm going to go outside and prime this. And then maybe tomorrow we'll paint it. I think he wants to paint it flat black. But right now we're just going to prime it with this here Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 filler. So it's good enough for what he's doing. Alright. Alright, got 3 nice wet coats of primer on there, and actually came out pretty good. I don't know how well it looks in the camera, but it's actually pretty perfect. Alright, remember this curved part back here doesn't get seen, so we're just concerning ourselves with the front part. Alright, maybe we'll see you out here tomorrow when we paint it. Alright, yeah, we just finished painting this about a half hour ago, and it seems to be okay. It's supposed to be flat black, so there's no modeling or nothing like that, and I think it looks good. Especially the end we fixed here. Can't tell the difference. So, yeah, I think he'll be happy with it. He's easy to please, so there we go. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next one.